Hello, guys. Welcome to another edition of Fitness Over 30. I am Omari, and I'm joined tonight with TJ. Dr. TJ, how you doing?
Good, Omari. Good to be here.
Today we got a great topic, guys. We're talking about chiropractic and Pilates, and why are they a good fit for one another. And TJ is a chiropractor that I work closely with, and I refer clients to him and vice versa. TJ, why do you think our two businesses are such a great fit?
Well, it's kind of like bookends. The muscles take direction from the nerves, and the nerves, like Google search, learns from what's being asked from the muscles. And so, if the two don't communicate, then there's no balance. And the whole idea is to get the balance. And from my end, I'm trying to make sure that the brain and the muscles are talking. And if the muscles aren't working as a balanced team, then you're not going to get the posture you want. You're not going to get the strain-free, energy-efficient movement and the flexibility that makes it easy to move through life and embrace its challenges. And Pilates is fantastic for creating, strength and flexibility and balance, and more importantly, combining it all through core muscle strength.
A lot of what we deal with is trying to make sure that the core is functioning as one with the back. We're trying to unite those muscles in the pelvic floor. So through the breathing and the engagement of the core, you are able to unify all of those muscles that are supporting the torso. So for me, what I see a lot of when I'm dealing with people, TJ, is if their structure is out of balance, a lot of what I do does not really help. I mean, it'll help stave off the immediate pain, but until you get someone into alignment, a lot of times it's just a perpetual thing that's going on as far as them having back pain. And so I know for you, you have a decompression machine, and I think that serves as one of the best tools when it's necessary to get some compression off of the disc. Could you tell us folks a little bit about that?
You bet, Omar. It's such a unique device, a decompression machine, because it targets an individual disc. And the disc is stuck between two bones, and it's at the mercy of the movement of those two bones for it to breathe or stay alive, to get groceries in and garbage out. And the only way those two bones are going to move is if the muscles move them. And if things aren't coordinated, or the brain senses trouble and creates a spasm, kind of like a muscle cast, then you're talking about that old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. And then you get what's called degenerative joint disease and or degenerative disc disease, and things begin to break down. And so you've got to get movement back in, but you got to get movement that's coordinated and controlled. So what the chiropractor can do is he can get that nervous system to control and coordinate the movement. And then what the Pilates does is it then ingrains in what are called the deep nucleuses in the deep brain, and it helps with what's called muscle memory. And so as long as all the lights are turned on, and then you're doing the Pilates work of creating the balanced muscle memory and engagement of the muscles that have to work as a team, then you create a new normal. Having a good posture just feels normal, where other people, because of their lifestyle of sitting, maybe because of their job or otherwise, and they have a dysfunction that never gets corrected, they just kind of create a working normal, which ends up creating an imbalance and other problems. And if you don't get the message through the nerves to coordinate with the action in the muscle, you never get to that teamwork and that balance. And that's again, I think, where chiropractic and Pilates are, one and the same.
I know you're a big proponent about team, and ever since I've met you, I've kind of jumped on board, because I know by working with the massage therapists that we deal with, they also help us to be able to be a cohesive unit to overall health of our clients. Like you said, a lot of sitting for most people throughout the day in corporate America, that it's just unavoidable, meeting after meeting. And even if you're standing, a lot of times, if you're not exercising, those muscles are becoming a little bit fatigued just because you're not strength training them. So for a lot of our listeners, the main thing that we're trying to emphasize is that if you're not moving and you're not doing things that make you happy, in life, because I think a lot of the mental aspect of it as well is very important. I know you have a little philosophy that you go by where you have people do a series of questionnaires. Can you talk a little bit about that, the mental aspect of how important it is to have a healthy mental attitude when it comes to overall health and wellness?
It's in my mind, it's everything. And we have a device called the One-Page Miracle, an adaptation of Dr. Daniel Amen's work on CAT scans and SPECT scans of the brain for people who've had traumatic injuries. And it's a way to gain focus and figure out what it is that you really want. And so you're not wasting time on things they're just going to waste your energy. You want to put your energy into things that are productive for you. And,
that's right.
And you can't, everything in life has a physical reality because you got to fight gravity, a chemical reality, you got to fuel the muscle, got a mental reality, you got to lead the muscle. And so if you don't do that, if you don't move it, you lose it. And if you don't have a plan, then your muscle's just out there on its own. And there isn't anybody who wants to be out there on their own and alone.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. One of the things you said was focus, and one of the principles in Pilates is focus. As you're doing the exercises, it's one of Joseph Pilates' principles was you want to unite the mind and the body together. So a lot of what you're trying to do when you're exercising is focusing in on those muscle groups that you're trying to strengthen, because if you can visualize them, you can guarantee that you're getting a little bit more stimulus out of them. Would you agree?
You bet. It's a concerted effort. You're getting all hands on deck. What we like to call a dynamic effect.
Now, I know another principle from Pilates, which is breathing, is something that you also believe in chiropractic is very important. Now, I know you took a couple of the clients that I sent you through a couple breathing exercises to increase the diaphragm, and I think that's very important, being able to increase your lung capacity. So can you tell a little bit about why you include that in the chiropractic as well?
Well, yeah, you bet. The research and science has shown and done the homework on is that you can only think as fast as you breathe. And if you can control your breath, you can control your thoughts. And that's where you get focus, and that's where you get buy-in from everybody, because everybody's on the same page, because you're not distorted or distracted. And that focus is everything. And when you focus on your breathing, on the diaphragm, and you breathe from the bottom, you fill up the lung completely, and you increase what's called your VO2 max, or the amount of oxygen that's available to be put in the blood. And as long as your chemistry is good and your nervous system coordination is good, you're going to be able to pack as much oxygen in that blood, and that's going to improve everything. Your healing, your happiness,
Right.
your attitude, your energy. It all goes hand in hand. And good deep breath, which you find when you laugh, is an internal massage. It's great for organ circulation. It's great for stress relief, and it creates what's called interthecal pressure, which is another thing that exercises the disc between the bones in your lower back and your neck and your upper back, everywhere. It's just a good overall exercise.
You have a lot of unique things that you include in your programs that I find fascinating, and I think that people will get a lot more in the future from you about this type of exercise combined with chiropractic care. It's just an overall philosophy that I think in the future will become commonplace. I know a lot of chiropractors are starting to become more non-traditional. I'm hearing about them every week, guys that are thinking about, if you're not moving as far as their adjustments, that they actually don't want to treat them over time. So for you, if people aren't moving or participating, how do you feel about that as far as your clientele is concerned?
Well, then you're going to stay in one place. And there's not a one of us, Omar, I don't know about you, but I'm not getting any younger.
No.
And if you don't start moving, everybody else is going to go right past you. You got to go with the flow, and most of the time, it's tough
That's
swimming
right.
up. It's tiring to swim upstream. It can be easy. You were born with everything you needed to be great for a long time, and really life can be long, and the better you feel, the more able you are to enjoy and embrace all that life has to offer. And I know that my mother-in-law and my wife would say is that nothing tastes better than feeling good.
I mean, I know for me, it's been a personal experience with Pilates. It's changed my life, and I've even been able to change the life of my mother, who never exercised for many years in her life. I think it may have been 66 or 67 when she first got started. And, I mean, the difference that it's made in just 2 to 3 years of movement 2 to 3 times a week is significant. And so for me, Pilates has become a way of life. It has changed the way that I look at exercise, because before Pilates for me I was young, I had a lot of testosterone, and I played sports as a young man, so a lot of push-ups and pull-ups and running. So when I found Pilates, I was probably one of the tighter individuals to stick with it, and over the years it's actually really helped me to increase my flexibility, which actually increases your overall functionality and quality of life. I think what we're trying to say, folks, is if you do have a problem with your back, a lot of times, you can do things on your own to get some quality of life. But if you find that you're stretching and you're working with your trainer and it's not getting any better, you may want to go get checked out and make sure that you're not out of alignment. Because I know for myself, pretty much every time I go see TJ, I'm out of alignment. And I think most people are. What would you say, TJ?
Yeah, life is stressful.
And so, I mean, for me, I think the chiropractic world and Pilates are a perfect union. And I'm glad that I've been fortunate enough to come across you, and you've helped many clients of mine. And I think I've been able to help a few of yours as well. And I hope this becomes a permanent thing and a union that we can be able to help many people in the future. I think we'll visit this topic again, guys. But for now, on my end, I think I've had enough. How do you feel, TJ? You think you had any more to add?
Yeah, just the fact that we are more powerful when we work together.
So, guys, this is another edition of Fitness Over 30. I'm Omari, and I was joined by TJ. I hope you guys have a great evening. Take care.